To be honest, I think obviously it's a lot earlier than any of us would have been preferring to do this interview, and it really hasn't set in yet. I don't think it ever really sets in until after all the guys leave town, and then you're kind of the first day you wake up, not having practice, none of the guys are around, you don't see any of them, then you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, this sucks. So that'll set in pretty shortly here. Obviously, it's still fun hanging around the guys here and just getting to socialize a bit more. And so we're trying obviously not to talk about it too much and enjoy each other for the last couple of days. But yeah, obviously it was a tough loss.
What's the big takeaway from this season? What do you think you learned and these guys learned over the course of one season?
For me personally, it was a frustrating year for me because I just so inconsistent, whether I was in the lineup or not any given night. And I had the back surgery last summer, which actually everything went well, and I didn't miss one game because of my back this year. It was just like everything else was going wrong, one thing after another. Whether it was being sick or bumps or bruises, tearing my hip, stuff like that. And it was just I attribute it to having that surgery last summer and not having a full summer to work out, and kind of getting thrust right back into games, and it's my body just reacting to how physical the sport is. So that's how I felt. But I think along with that, the guys will learn just like this that no matter what seed you are, if you have home ice or not in the playoffs, obviously it's anyone can win in this sport, and I think that's the beauty of it.
So what does the future hold for you? Obviously, you mentioned the back surgery last offseason. What does it mean for your decision process timeline? Are you looking forward to this offseason timeline for yourself?
I think it's just that unfortunately age is a real thing, and you come to realize it in this sport. It's getting faster, stronger every year, and then like I said, just not being able to be on the ice as much as I wanted this year. I know definitely wasn't as much as the team wanted, and it's kind of tough to put together a lineup any given night when you're expecting Shawn Szydlowski in it, and he may or may not be. So that frustrates me the most too, just knowing my team couldn't really count on me to be in the lineup any given night. So I think that was something that weighs on me pretty heavy, and I don't want to go back into another season and feel like I'm going to do that to the team. And it's just frustrating myself too, because when you're not playing, you don't really feel a part of the team. You're not with the guys. You don't have your normal game day routine. So it's you're almost lonely sometimes. So that's how I kind of felt this year. So maybe if I'm going to take some time in the summer and keep working out and preparing as if I am going to be a hockey player next year, and just see how I feel when the time's right and make a decision then.
With all the ups and downs and the players that came in and were up in the AHL, and just so many roster changes this year, how did you guys handle that? And if so, going forward, what do you take away from that? Having so many guys coming out, if that's normal.
Yeah, as a guy who's signed to play in Fort Wayne all year, kind of with my age now, and not taking call-ups anymore, and I'm going to be here all year. It's kind of frustrating actually to watch it happen sometimes, especially when they go. You have 5 guys go to 4 different teams, and you never know when they're going to be back. And we had some guys who were good enough to stay with teams all year, like Matt Bowdens and Drake Rimshaw. Corks obviously went back up, stayed, and it's tough when you count on those guys and you see how effective they can be when they're in the lineup with us. So to not have those type of guys, obviously we had Bowdens, but to not have the other couple of guys in the playoffs, it definitely hurts because they would have added a big presence in our lineup. And it's something I wish there was more consistency with, but at the same time, I'm happy for those guys to get the opportunities to do what they did.
Folks of the night like tonight, how important is it to interact with fans who are showing you?
I think it's definitely important, almost maybe even more this year, just after COVID happened. These last couple seasons we haven't been able to do this. We haven't had many of the promotions or get-togethers that we've had during the year with fans, whether it be at a restaurant or even after games outside the locker room. So for the fans to be able to get to see some of these guys off the ice and just talk to them, even if it's a couple-minute conversation, I know the fans appreciate it. The guys will see how big of an impact they have on this city, so it's kind of a cool thing, and it's something that kind of humbles you too. And people know your name and know who you are and want to know who you are. So I think these guys will realize how cool this fan base really is.